Como talez-vous? Okay, talez-vous français? Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. Yes, it is on Reset Tuesday. You guys that don't know and you're just chiming in, I just want y'all to know that last 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually, I've been on a mission working on rebuilding back up my DoorDash because I lost it all. I was basically non-productive for the last 3 months on DoorDash. I got to the point where I got discouraged. So I dropped my performance rate all the way down to the trenches. Okay, it was all the way down. And 3 weeks ago, I just said, you know what? If we're gonna work this thing, let's work it. I always tell everybody, you know what, it will work for you if you work it. Okay, so I wasn't working it, so it wasn't working for me. So I decided, let me go and chew up on my words and go back to the drawing board and start all over again. So my acceptance rate had went all the way down to 65%, which I dropped below my ratings for acceptance. Okay, so that dropped. And then my completion rate, a few of them I couldn't finish up either, so all that went all out of whack. When I know I was dropped all the way down to silver, 3 weeks ago I said, you know what, I reset whatever I was doing, reset my mindset as well, because sometimes when we fall off the bandwagon and nobody's there to pull you back together, you have to reset yourself and pull yourself back together. So I had to snap out of that. Oh, DoorDash ain't working. Oh, the market is so low. Oh, whatever, it's so slow, it's so this. And renew my mind with the right attitude, because I had the wrong attitude. I was looking at it like, oh, you're just gonna send me a $6 to 6 miles. How dare you offend me like this? I am platinum. I was in a position where I was felt like I was entitled. Honestly, for DoorDash's money. I was like, how dare you do that to me? So I stopped doing it. I was cherry picking the whole time. So I fell out of my qualification of platinum. Actually, I've been on platinum. I've always been 100%. My acceptance rate will be in between the 80s or 90s on DoorDash, but I had went to 65, guys. I felt like a failure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just be 100 with you. All the other apps that I was working in the gig economy was working because I was multi-apping, meaning I was doing multiple apps, not at the same time though. However, though, I was doing multiple apps to bridge the gap, to fill in the space of what I've lost by not working my DoorDash, right? So 3 weeks ago, I said, you know what? I need to change this attitude. I need to change my mindset. I've listened to Minister Mars, guys. If you guys have not yet listened to Minister Mars, he been dropping some gems. He have some great series. His last couple series, I would say probably last 8 posts that he did on his YouTube channel, on the Pacific YouTube channel for the Truth of God. He is talking in regards to the conscience, clearing out your mind, renewing your mind, changing the way you think, changing your attitude, adjusting yourself, resetting. And I said, oh, okay, you're talking to me. So I decided to grab a few of his nuggets and put some action behind it. And I said, I need to pull myself out of silver and place myself back into platinum ship, because listen, it's like a job level. When you're working in the gig economy, you got to keep yourself on a high level. I fell out of management. I ain't gonna lie to you, because of my attitude. I fell out of management and I went all the way down to the bottom of the barrel. I was barely receiving any orders. I was just miserable, and I had to change me. The system of DoorDash is not going to change and adjust its sale because Paulette is having a bad attitude, or Paulette is thought process is feeling entitled for not receiving the right orders that she should receive, when in reality you just have to bear patient and allow things to fan out on its own. So 3 weeks ago, like I was mentioning to you guys, I went back to the drawing board. I took accountability for my attitude, and I said I need to adjust my attitude, and I'm an independent contractor and I need to think like an independent contractor. An independent contractor don't pass by $1, what's less 3 or 4 or maybe 6. You always want to make sure that it makes sense to you. And I said, you know what, at this point in time in the gig economy market, when everybody is out there, my $1 per mile, $1.50, I will just, you know, it's low season right now, so I'll accept that. So I went on, guys, and build back up. My acceptance rate now is up to 97%. Yes, from 65 to 97 in the last 3 weeks. Paulette focus. I reset the thinking, reset the process of how it is that I'm going to put some action in and get out of the halitosis of the mind, otherwise known as stinking thinking, when it came to my DoorDash, because that was one of the apps that I was least working and had least favor with, because I just felt like they were just being mean and nasty when they're doing their offers. However, though, due to changing the thought process, changing the attitude, making sure that I was, you know, refocusing, adjusting me in order to work DoorDash better, find different angles that works best, maybe change the time. I changed my time, I changed location in certain zones that work for me. Instead of having a 30-mile radius zone, I went to a 10-mile radius zone. So when I did receive the $4 or the, you know, $3 or whatever amount, I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I got to drive so far out the way. I was still in that area. So that was one tip that I used on myself to help get back up to 97% acceptance rate, was because the radius of the zone that I was in was smaller. Okay, so that's tip number 1 for you that want to increase yourself back to platinum or want to remain in platinum. I found out that working on the weekends in a smaller zone, that I was able to increase faster, because all of the standard of procedures to increase your percentage rate was different. The smaller, the faster you can get up and into the higher levels of acceptance rate when it comes to your percentage. So I didn't know all of this, guys. I troubleshoot the whole thing, but I changed my mind. I didn't look at it, oh, you're sending me $4. I looked at it and like, this is a test. Let me try this test. I'm going to accept every delivery and I'm going to see how it works. Now, I don't advise certain zone to do that. If you're living in like New York, or you're living in these big counties and stuff, I will be, you know, test your area to see what works best for you. But in my area, when I did my troubleshoot, that worked for me. Smaller condensed area, smaller radius, definitely give me the opportunity to continually increase my percentage rate. And then on top of that, guys, I had to not only got to 97% acceptance rate, I also realized that I'm nearly 4,000 deliveries in on DoorDash. Ain't that a thing? All of this, I was so focused on the $4, I was missing out on all of the effort and time that I put in from the beginning up to now, and I wasn't appreciating the learning curve of DoorDash. You're gonna have the ups, the downs. You're gonna have high market, low markets, depending on the season. And I just felt like, you know what been going on so far is, sorry, I'm in traffic and this sun is, this hill is like right in my face. But you know, I was so focused on all the wrong things, the little 2%, that the 98% of good that was working for me was overlooking. So sometimes we can get a little like blinded. You see how that sun is blinding me? See how I'm doing this for you guys, so you can see how when the sun is blinding you, you can't see but so far, and everything is miserable because you can barely figure out what's ahead of you, but you're still cautious. And what I did was I gave up in the process of being blinded and not take advantage of pushing through. So I had to push through, got a 97% acceptance rate, realized that I was nearly 4,000 deliveries in since I started. Then on top of that, guys, it told me that I needed to qualify on DoorDash for up to 100 deliveries for my platinum ship. So I surpassed my 70%, because it's not only acceptance rate, it's also completion rate as well. So they want you to have 70% acceptance rate. I went all the way up to 97, and then they wanted me to have my customer rating was supposed to be 4.7. I went all the way up to a 4.9. And then on top of that, the other qualification was I needed to do 100 deliveries. So in the last 3 weeks, I completed my 100 deliveries. And now I must say I am a platinum driver back again. And I achieved my goals that I set myself to achieve the last 3 weeks. So can things happen if you're focused, if you're consistent? Yes, it can. And we still have to be working on that halitosis of the mind, because even on your faith walk, we tend to get halitosis of the mind, otherwise known as stinking thinking, where we are thinking on everything other than what we should be focusing on. So I just want everybody to know that focusing, staying consistent, you will achieve whatever you need to achieve. And when it comes to your walk, cleaning out and declogging all that negativity that's in your mind, renewing and refreshing your mind. Today's Tuesday. I always talk about resetting that thought process. Let's refocus on that goal that you wanted to achieve for the last week, 2 weeks. It took me 3 weeks to reset myself, get the right attitude, and start to take action towards the goal. And the goal was to achieve platinumship back on my DoorDash. I took you guys on my journey, and I'm here to tell you guys that on Sunday I hit my goal. And let me tell you, you may say, well, oh, Paula, how do you feel? What makes you, what is so exciting about it? What is exciting is that you start to change yourself by creating better habits of thinking. Because at that time, as I mentioned, if you're just coming in, welcome into Life with Paulette. We're just talking about the halitosis of the mind and getting rid of this stinking thinking, that we tend to cripple ourselves, that we can't progress because we're so focused on all the other things that's not working for us, that the one thing that probably is working, that we just need to work a little harder at it, we create this bad attitude towards it. And then all of a sudden we feel entitled, and if it's not working for us, then we give up on it. And in reality, that's not the actions, that's not the right attitude for you to achieve stuff in life. So that was one thing that I had to learn throughout this last couple of weeks, of rethinking, refocusing, resetting your goals. I know that there's many up in here that have goals that they had from a young age that they just felt like, I've come to the end of it. I can't achieve it. I've been trying for the longest, for years. I always share with you guys, I had a dream that I wanted, and I accomplished it in September. Right after I accomplished it, everything started to open up. I got baptized. I got, everything that all the blessings started to flow because of the thought process that changed. I didn't look at life the same, and that I need to clean out on a daily basis the feces within my worship in order for me to progress. Okay, I don't want to be that person, a new person meet, or a person meet, and I have a bad attitude, and I'm saying, I'm walking in holiness, and I always have a problem. Have you ever come across certain individuals or certain people in their lives that every time they show up, they're showing up with baggage? They're showing up with a problem. Sometimes when you hang around a little bit too much, what happens is you tend to carry that dead weight with you. And even though the individuals may not be present, the problem that they dropped on you remain. Okay, so be mindful and be careful that sometimes your attitude is tweaked based upon other people, bad attitude that rubs off on you. And like I mentioned, my grandmother always said, around 9 bad attitude and miserable rituals, you bound to be the 10th. Okay, I'm driving. Let me check these texts in here. Welcome, Derek Rodriguez. Hey, Derek, how are you? Welcome to Life of Paulette. It's so good to see you. Hope all is well. How is the island treating you these last couple of days? I know it's probably some rain and wind going on over there on the island, but welcome, Derek. So good to see you. Sister Tanya, how are you today? Hope all is well. Welcome, Brother Cook. How are you? Brother Cook, good to see you up in here. We're just talking about accomplishing or refocus. Today's Reset Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I come on and I talk about resetting, and it don't only have to be, fitness or your health. It can be life journeys, that you're resetting, your goals that you want to accomplish and you never accomplished. Today is just a reminder that you can start over. Okay, it's never too late. Okay, to start over and to accomplish. And I used that tactic for the last 3 weeks when it came to my my DoorDash. I was talking at the beginning of how it is that you can lose yourself along the way and allow the devil to get in and just steal away all the joy of the why I wanted platinum, why I wanted to start in the gig economy, why I left all of the corporate, why it tends to, he knows just what you shouldn't be doing and he pushes it on you so you can go and do it, and then he leaves you alone. So I hit all the high levels of the gig economy, and then all of a sudden I got to a point where I don't know if they call it lazy, bad attitude towards it. I just felt like overly like I was being whipped, and abused with these orders instead of looking at it through a business mindset. It's a business mindset. I'm an independent contractor. When I go out there, I'm doing the best of my ability by serving, making sure people get their food, making sure that is my service. And I felt like I was not doing it justice because I was so focused on the money, not so much the money, but just like, why are you offering me that amount that is such a little bit? Why are you offering that to me when I'm already platinum? So I felt entitled. Like, oh no, well, I'm not gonna do this because of X, Y, and Z. So sometimes we're so focused on how we are feeling on our emotions that we miss the message. And the message is, yes, you're an independent business owner, but it's not your company. I don't have the risk that DoorDash has. I don't. I am just a contractor on the side that is used to deliver their product from point A to point B, and they pay me based upon what they think that I worth. And I, as the business owner, have to know that when I look at that, I have to see, okay, I'm a contractor. This is what you want to give me for that contract, and I can make the decision if I want to do it or not. And nobody's going to pay you $3 to $4. A few weeks ago, a brother was like, I'm only 1% acceptance rate. I was like, I don't know how you could be 1% acceptance rate on DoorDash, and they haven't deactivated you yet. But let me tell you, he probably does a great job with the service and make sure the customer's satisfied. People are gonna have, gonna realize that the acceptance rate don't mean anything. Honestly, it don't. If you just want to make a few dollars and you're gonna pick and go for it and get yourself your 1% acceptance rate and tell DoorDash, I'm only gonna accept what I want to accept. But then your orders and your for delivery is going to be minimum because it's not going to be as frequent. So there's a pros and there are cons, and mean if you're in a rock and a hard place regardless of the decision that you make, because if you get to a 1%, then that means that you're at silver, and silver every 20, 30, maybe an hour you'll get an order. Like, that's how distant they'll give it. So hi guys, anyhow, that was definitely a mouthful, I know, because I wanted to share that with you. I was coming on yesterday, but life be lifing. I ain't gonna lie to you, life be lifing. Sometimes You just get on here and you just start to talk. Right now I'm in traffic heading to the gym because that's part of my reset as well. I resetted my health and fitness. I am focusing on 5 days out of the week, guys, and it's so far so good for the last 3 weeks. I guess focusing on DoorDash and rethinking my process got me back up to platinum just by being consistent. So I'm working also on this weight loss and the thought process when I see food, you know, I'm trying and working on having a better attitude towards it, you know, instead of just saying, oh, that's food. Food is to be eaten. You know, you have to have a moment where you got to put the fork down. So been putting the fork down. I still added in my smoothie, or I add juicing in. I have content with the juicing. I just have not gotten a chance to put it together for you guys. I feel right now that live, first I was scared of going live at the beginning. Like, probably I started my channel per se, I think probably in February or March that I started back again after about 6 years of not posting anything. So I had this channel a long time. I just didn't work it because it was not something that I was interested in at the time. Now around February, I started my holiness walk, and I said, you know what, let me just start posting again, and here I am, you know. And actually, one of the person that inspired to start the channel again was Brother Tony Harvin. You know, he's always very encouraging, you know, everybody to start the channel. He always makes sure that, you know, he promotes and uplift people. So because of him going on my channel that day, he was being on his petty mood, and that's exposed my channel, and he said go ahead and everybody need to start a channel. And I guess I felt like, you know what, let's go and start posting again. So that's where it was. I've never had done a live before because I had a, you know, you doing lives is not something that you always feel that fair. I guess it's like doing a concert, when as much practice as a singer or an artist have, when they go on stage, they get nervous. So at the beginning, when I started, I was a little nervous. I used to be like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? You know, the products that I used to use when I do my hair, now I got to put a cap on. Oh my gosh, this holiness walk is stressful when it comes to, I can't show my you know, I got to keep my head covered. And then I said, okay, well, I could do skincare. But when you do skincare, you know, you can't, you can't be walking around, you know, with a towel on your head all the time. So I was like, oh, how am I going to figure that out to do that? So I had to readjust how I was doing things. At first, I used to, on my channel, I would do tea times where I would come on and I would just talk to you guys about testimony. When I was in falsehood first, you know, I would talk about testimonies, and we will do testimonies and stuff, and I'll call it, you know, call it tea time. Now, you know, it's like, yeah, you talk about stuff, but you know, there's always trying to make sure that you're staying within your means and not going outside of what you're supposed to be sharing. So I turn that off a little bit. And then, you know, I like hiking adventures, which is winter here in Hawaii, so you can barely, you know, get outside. And then my team, everybody just went on the, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. So all of a sudden, a team that you had doing your hiking adventures, sometimes they fall through, or they how life be lifing with them, and they're not able to continue. So you're either going to go out there by yourself, which I'm not going to go on a nice little hike by myself. The only hike I'm planning on doing before the end of the year, God's will, and that is my 2,300 steps. We're going to walk some stairs, and I'm looking forward to doing that one and take you guys on that journey. However, though, you know, it's Hawaii is beautiful. I'm in Hawaii, so I do take advantage of all of the highlights and the hikings and, you know, adventures that I can get to and take you guys on a journey with me. But yes, guys, let's see. Brother Cook said, I'm glad you was able to achieve your goal. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. How you been doing, Brother Cook? Welcome again. Mansoor Arif. Mansoor Arif says, hi, how are you, baby? Hi, Mansoor. Welcome from Pakistan. I appreciate you for chiming in to Life with Paulette. But today, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you. I wanted you to know that focusing, staying consistent, changing your attitude definitely is key in order for you to accomplishing any goals in life. Just reset, refocus yourself, and put in the work. Go to work, guys. Go to work. Figure it out. You know, put some action behind it. Put some elbow grease, like back in the day, you used to say, get your elbow grease up in there and take action. And allow God to activate. Okay, because he's definitely going to activate when he see you putting some work in. All right, so put some work in and get yourself together, guys. Reset Tuesday is today. So figure out what it is that you need to start focusing on, resetting, renewing, so you can achieve your goals as well. Let me see. A few sermons that I mentioned prior for you guys is the ones with Minister Mars, and I highly recommend you guys go and listen to Minister Mars' sermon. I'm going to share with you guys probably, let me see, which one I've been listening to, so that way you guys can probably go listen, and it may reset your mindset, because it sure did it with me. It surely resetted my mindset when I listened to his sermon. And that one is the Prove Thy Soul, was the last one that he posted. But the two that I've listened to that I really enjoy was Salt is Good. He talked about Salt is Good, and there's part 1 and part 2. They're posted on my page, guys. So go on the page, look at the post, and you always see what Paulette's been listening to. Then you would know. I normally like to share the sermons that I'm listening to from the Truth of God on my posts, you know, as the day go by, because some days I can listen up to 2, 3, or 4 different sermons, and then by the end of the day you forgot everything that they said. But one thing with this series that Minister Mars is talking about, you know, is consistent. Is very consistent. He's talking about, you know, protect your peace, your holiness, and cleaning out and declogging your conscience from all the negativities and all that stinking thinking. And that was something key for me that I've learned so far, you know, because sometimes you just need that sound from somebody else that can just give you that right word for the day to push you forward. Okay. The other one, the renounce the corruption in self. That one is definite. That one is the one. Renounce the corruption in yourself, from Minister Mars. I've listened twice to that one, because I just feel like sometimes we need to hear these things more often. Hi, Zagros. How are you? Hope all is well, Zagros. Wow, it's so good to see. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you. You know, I always like to see old face, new face, every face. You know, sometimes we come on here and we're definitely, you know, on, and some days it's like, oh my gosh, I can't finish up right now because, you know, I can't even get on because we've been working. Let me tell you, God has been blessing. God has been blessing. It's so much blessings coming in that I don't know how to handle it. Have you all ever had that scenario where you pray for something and then it took so long, and then you keep praying for it, and then it took that 1 minute, 1 day for God to come in and just say, okay, I saw you putting the actions in, now I'm going to activate it. And then he activates it, and you're still struggling to keep up because now you got to balance. Sometimes we be asking for a lot of stuff and then we're not ready for it, because the moment we get it, we don't know how to balance it. So even when it comes to my YouTube channel, you know, sometimes I'll come on, like I said, I still in plans to come on Sundays, but just right now, life has been life, and eventually I'll get back to my Tuesdays, my Thursdays, and my Sundays eventually. But as of now, because I'm consistently working in these streets for the last five days out of the week, this is all I can offer you guys at this point for right now. But bear with me, as soon as you see me adjust and balance out, this work, we're gonna figure something out that I can get back to the focus. But for right now, we're gonna do a lot of these little car friend stuff, conversations. And if you guys have any other conversations that you guys would like to have, I know I have requests for, meal prepping. I have which meal prepping, I'm not gonna lie, meal prepping is my Achilles heel. That's why I have the issue in the first place, because meal prepping is my Achilles heel. I've been trying my best, but it's just something, and it works though. Meal prepping work, but I don't know why is it that I've been struggling with that portion. That part for me is like, I've been struggling with meal prepping. So pray for me, but I definitely want to be able to get on and go live one day when I do some meal prepping. I'm going to grab me some nice options out there so I can show you guys, because working out, the fitness is okay. The issue is the health portion, and I'm still working and doing much better though. I'm doing much better when it comes to the eating. At least I'm getting a little bit of oatmeal in the morning, so breakfast is increasing now, and I'm not just starving myself all the way until the end of the day. And by the time the end of the day come, you're just you're so hungry you can't even think straight. The first thing you want to grab is some chips. So we're working on better habits there. We're working on not being able to grab the first thing that comes to mind. One thing that I realized that was pretty quick, that will curb that appetite, that I've been working, on bettering. And if you see lunch is coming up, I'll always have me some avocado in the background, and do yourself an avocado sandwich. Get yourself a nice little toast with whatever, green bread or whatever type of bread. Mash up your little avocado, sprinkle a little bit of salt. Some people like to put honey on it, or some people like to put their banana. However you feel, a nice little avocado toast will curve whatever little peckish that you will have until it's like a bridge to get you to the next side, and there's healthy fats in there too, so that will keep you a little fuller until when you can prepare whatever meal that you're going to eat for the rest of that day. That's been a plus for me. Sister Tanya say, we will be patient. Yes, patient is key. Patient is key. Consistent and patient and focus. It's like they all go hand in hand. Consistency, you got to stay focused. You got to stay consistent. You got to be patient. It's like it's all a nice little three-legged stool. You got to put it all together, and you have to have the right amount of, a little of balance between them all in order for it to function. So definitely, Sister Tanya. Well, guys, we are already 30 minutes in this thing. I don't want to keep nobody too long. I'm heading to the gym. You all already know what I'm doing on Tuesdays. Tuesday, I'm heading to the gym. It was great to share my achievement with you guys. I'm always that one that if I tell you I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And if you don't see it right away, I'm working on it. It don't mean that I forgot about it. It's just that some things you will say, I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, guys, life be lifing and you can't get to it. But don't forget, it's right around the corner. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I did it. I hit my platinum share. I told you I was going to do it. It took some time. Yes, it did. It took some effort, but it also, in that process, allowed me to rethink and change my attitude. So, and that was just one thing. I still need to work on my attitude towards a lot of things, guys. Remember, the corruption in self runs deep. So we will always be cleaning out feces in our worship all the way to the end. But you know what? We're pushing through. We're thriving, And a few days ago, Someone asked, should the baptism. When I was getting baptized, I knew that I had things, and I still have things that I need to work on, but I just went on and I got baptized. So I asked I asked Elder Jones. I said, Elder Jones, I said, there's things that I still need to work on, He's like, get baptized. Don't worry about, trying to swallow down the bylaws right now. He said, you need to eat up on the word. I love the word to cleanse and clear out whatever needs to be declogged out of your life. Don't go there, trying to wait for the perfect timing for you to get baptized, or waiting for the perfect timing for you to accept God, or to change your life. You're going to change. It's a process. Okay? We'll never be perfect, but we're striving for that on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. So always remember that you're not going to be all polished up when you go underwater and get baptized. You're still going to have to be working throughout the rest of your life in order to better yourself, in order to clean out the feces in your worship, because this flesh ain't nothing but dust, okay, and dirt, and we have a lot of dirt on us that needs to be cleaned out. A lot of corruption within self that needs to be clean and purged. So working on eating up on the word, that's the best cleanser for corruption, is putting the word of God within your heart and getting it in there, and not only getting it in, believe in it, having faith and belief in it that it will change you, and that's where your change is going to come. So I know I went off on another tangent, but I want to put that in there because a lot of time we be waiting for that perfect timing. It's not perfect timing, okay? It's like having a baby. You be like, oops, I'm pregnant. You can't say, no, baby, you can't come right now because I don't have a house to put you. I don't have no food to give you. I don't have a job. Baby is coming in 9 months, so prepare for delivery, okay? So that's when it comes to your baptism. You never be like, you don't plan for it. You got to just get it done. Get it done. Just get it done. You'll be all right. And I love the word to change you. All right. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. I know that this November is going to be a busy month for me. It's going to be definitely a busy month, busy timing for me. So hopefully I can come on here a little bit more often than should. But mainly my time that I do come on, I'll probably be working. So you all will be on the go with me sometimes, and I'll try my best to make sure that I get some time in there during these holidays. But holidays are peak days for Paulette, and I work, and those that know me, you know that I'll be working. And basically, if I'm busy, if you don't see me, I'll definitely drop a post, probably put a short. I'm going to do something up in there so that way you guys will still have, a little bit from me, but I'm not going to just leave you alone, okay? I'm either going to do a live, I'll either upload something for you, or I'm going to post something. Either one of those three you're going to find on a daily basis here on Life with Paulette through the holidays, okay? And then some days we're going to go to work, all right? All right then, guys. Anyway, love you guys. Deuces, she's out. We're heading to the gym, and I'm about to pull up. So you all have an amazing day. Thank you guys for chiming in. If you're just coming in here, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and just come on and enjoy some of this fun conversation. And to each his own. Some people like it, and those that basically feel like you know, there's a whole lot of us on here. So go ahead and follow everybody, guys, all the brothers, all the sisters. Go follow them. Everybody has their own little technique, their own little thing that they put in there. They throw it in there, make a nice little bowl of count soup for you guys. But you're going to find somebody that you want to just, you know, just chill with. So if Life with Paulette is one of those areas, just subscribe. Just get it off your list. And don't forget to hit the bell. So when I come back on, guys, you know what? You will be notified. All right. Love y'all. Deuces. Bye-bye, babies. Bye-bye. Bye.